more, and it's gonna drag. This game will drag for sure. Yes, Chef is one of the better teams at playing the late game. They're very consistent. They don't make that many mistakes compared to the other Australian teams. And like I said before we started this series, is Your Soul Is Mine generally is pretty solid. They look solid, but then they just throw their lead away, and they're not very good at capitalizing on winning the game. So I'm hoping they've learned their lesson from previous games. I'm hoping they can actually look sharper than they were in the previous series. So let's see. Masui is actually going back for the Aghanims now.
Yeah. Are you favoring the Yeshef lineup going into the late game? Because I'm looking at the Tide and thinking like, okay, Tide is always pretty scary in a late game scenario, but you know, the Gyro Invoker also pretty big. The Invoker doesn't have a crazy amount of net worth currently.
Yeah, maybe going, if we're talking about the hero specifically, I still would favor Your Soul Is Mine. Void Spirit late game is extremely good as well. And playing with Tusker, playing with Oracle, you have these saves that can really turn the fights around. There's not really the best lockdown coming from Yes Chef as well, which kind of hurts them. Because even if the BKBs wear off, it's not really such a hindrance for Your Soul Is Mine, but for the other end, it quite is.
Yeah. The more I think about this BKB on the Monkey King, the less I like it. Because he's got 2 saving supports, right? And we like talked up the ability to be greedy and like, you know, still be useful with the saves. And then you go Battle Fury into straight BKB. To me, it's almost like too defensive. I'm looking at these team fights and I'm really just wishing that he had gone the Aghanims earlier, or like some damage item instead.
And it would have made him really tank as well. With the Oracle behind him, there's just no way he would have died. If he knows about that False Promise and Mischief mechanic as well, they can exploit that. But at the same time, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, this BKB could have just been a 3rd item if you really wanted it. But to be honest, I don't even think it's a great BKB game. You could have just gone for example, a Scotty and the Bissell build-up, which builds stats or health. So you wouldn't have been able to just get bursted down anyways.
Okay, Riz with the butterfly now is looking very scary, and Monkey King, despite the fact that it's his namesake, does not really want to buy the MKB. So we're going to be very difficult to deal with this man.
The rocket's coming back.
Yeah. They've got the Aegis for another 40 seconds or so, so really just looking to force this. Laying down all the ground control. Sunstrike actually scouting Matsue up on the hill here. Up on the tree. F-18 is pushing out top. Riz cleans up the tower, no problem. And away they go. So.
Yep, just some clean, taking a tower and getting away. And not really committing all the heroes. Tekla wasn't even actually there. He was just farming a little bit, the enemy jungle. But they're just going to keep utilizing this gyrocopter, and this is normally their gameplay. As Riz is fat, gets his timings, and then they just group up with him and try to fight. Oh, Your Soul Is Mine?
Immediate assimilate. That is the offensive Yules from Lonnie's looking for the spear, doesn't quite manage to time it. Defensive Yules comes out. Masaru popping the BKB, popping the ultimate, just looking for this kill onto Lon. Will be able to grab it. They've also got Tekor down. And Yes Chef just sizing up the team fight and deciding that they do not want anything to do with it. Reverie looking like he might go cut a wave somewhere or something. He actually wants this bounty first. So grabs that quickly. Heads off. And Conan is making the long run for these bottom bounties. Oh, they've spotted the Invoker, I think. He ran past a little bit of sentry vision earlier. Okay, they don't know where he is anymore.
Alright, well, we still have Ravage here, so... Yeah. I mean, BKB is coming up soon. Wukong Arena as well, 40 seconds off. If they want to keep playing aggressive, they can. With that being said, though, if they want to just keep farming, they're progressing in their items as well. I mean, Black King Bar almost completed on Conan, which means he can just go in and not care. His combo is not going to get disrupted whatsoever, and he doesn't need to utilize his spells defensively with the BKB, because there's not really that much physical damage. It's really just Riz, the right clicks, and the Aghanims click. But yeah, Pipe coming up soon as well, and Hahaguo. I mean, their item timings are really connecting amongst each other. BKB almost up as well on F-18, where if you look at the Radiant side here, yes, you got your Butterfly, but the support +5 doesn't even have a Glimmer yet. You do have an Aghanims on Tekor, but he's been actually just dying in these fights so easily as well.
Yeah, he's not been finding any free space to just kind of sit and deliver those auto attacks. So
yeah, so I think in terms of itemization, your Soul's Mind is actually going to have better time for the next maybe 2 minutes when they complete it. And here we go, they're grouping up.
Oh, they spot Reverie. Conan going in, doesn't have that BKB quite yet. Ravage getting dropped onto the two of them. Do they have the damage? They do! They pop the Invoker. Lon still trying to fight this one out. They do get the Spear onto the Void Spirit, but they're controlling Riz for the time being, and they're actually going to protect F18. They're just going to put Riz in the middle of the Wukong's command. He's forced to retreat back with the BKB. Rev actually buying back into the game, rejoining them on the outpost and trying to force this fight. Tornado not really connecting onto too much. Maso is still holding onto the BKB for a while here, but they know that there's no false promise. Trouble for the Gyrocopter though, as he gets focused down. It's too much damage, especially with the tag team on top of everything else. Lon now in trouble. Doesn't have a blink. He does have some spider legs, but they're not going to let him get out of this one. Down he goes, and losing the Gyrocopter, that really has to sting. He's the only one doing any damage for the team currently.
Yeah, and it's a 10k net worth all of a sudden. I mean, that's mainly also because of the buyouts.
They're looking for more. F18 and Conan, they want Tech or Silence number 1, drag him back in, very nicely placed Remnant, and they're not done. They jump forward, they find Meteor. Reverie, you gotta be careful as well here, buddy. F18 is a little bit low on mana and actually getting pummeled. Looks like that Tornado is gonna be enough to finish him off, in fact. Okay, Conan finishes that kill, but at least they get the Void Spirit.
Yeah, a little unusual. He just took too many hits. He had the yield.
Yeah.
Simulate or ulti it out. Little confidence.
Yeah, I was maybe trying to save mana to like actually get a turnaround or like Yule's Remnant or something, but well, anyway, they're still gonna get a pretty good push here. They get the tier 2. Tornado is going to slow things down a little bit. Roshan respawning in 10 seconds time. So both teams going to have to be very aware of that as Riz just comes TPing straight in. Is he going to deny this? Hello? 5 HP tower? What's Conan doing? He's just running at people.
I'm not too sure.
That's kind of a crazy one, but alright, he's out of there.
It's a very bad time for BKB as well. As soon as Void Spirit's up and they realize Rosh is up, they should actually look to take the fight. Ravage is in 20 seconds. It's perfect. Void Spirit's going to be up. They can just group up, smoke, and make a play around the triangle, enemy triangle that is, and they get a good fight going like they did before, then it's just a free rush into high ground. So they need to really play clean here, where they have the advantage, and the game is really on their hands. It's looking like a very good shot that they're going to be winning this game. As long as they keep it cool and they actually play correctly, don't be over complacent, and make some plays as a team.
Yeah, okay, so Roshan's up. The big problem that I see for your Soul's Mind currently is that they don't have any observer wards in the area around the pit. Jiren does have 1 obs remaining, and they're going to go for a smoke. I don't know if this was scouted by this Radiant obs, but yes, Chef just going to retreat back to the high ground. I don't think that they can go for this Tidehunter, and Conan is sitting right behind him. So, I like the way that they're approaching this from your Soul's Mind, though. As I say that, Conan's going a little crazy, runs in, finds Meteor, keeping them locked down, using the snowball. They've killed off the Undying. He didn't get to press any buttons whatsoever. Lon with those spider legs, running down onto the low ground. The BKB gets forced out of him, but F18 also using his BKB. Your Soul's Mind just desperately wants this fight. Jump in, Ravage. Where's the Monkey King? I don't think Masaue was on the same page here, and now they're in trouble as Riz just pops everything. They shred through the Tidehunter. Masaue finally arrives with the Scotty. If they can chase down Riz, maybe it's looking like a good fight. Tekro gets brought down. It's a 4-man silence from F18. Tekro buying back immediately. Masaue is still pretty tanky. Riz got to be careful about pushing forward into the Wukong 2-man, but it's run out now. And damn, double kill. Looking for a little more. Sunstrike is going to bring down one more. F18 getting caught by the brambles and just the massive overextension.
Oh my god.
All of mine.
As well to one of the statues of MK walking back.
Oh, oh no. Well, okay, so that at least gives them something. At least Riz is dead and they can't immediately rush, but
it is a bit of a waste of timing here. As you said before, if MK was on the same page as Hahaguo, they would have just instantaneously killed the Invoker there, and that would have just been the fight. I mean, that would have been just retreat by Chef, and Rush would have been taken by Soul's Mind. But, obviously, him not dying there, team backing him up, and different whole fight altogether.
Yeah, and they back him up. The Tide dies like instantly. They've already used a lot of their control at that point, so the gyrocopter just goes ham. Well, we might just have another fight for the Roshan, though. I mean, there's not going to be no Ravage for 60. Revery's got his BKB, so that was the 10-second unveiling in the previous fight. This is tricky. Lon's just going back for the Aghanim Shard here. Very nice item. His farm is actually caught up reasonably well. I guess he's just been trailing behind the Invoker the whole game, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, they're looking like they want to just take the Roshan here. I mean, they will take it pretty fast. Alacrity and Solar Crest here.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage.
They're not...
Kind of hard committing. His soul is fine. They're not hanging around in the area. The Roshan has slowed down a little bit. Can they get in here and do anything about it? It's only 13 seconds to go on the Ravage, but your soul is mine. Just not able to contest it, it seems. And then it's going to be a free Aegis for Riz.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying, Yes Chef. They're just very solid when it comes to later game decision makings, either it be taking fights or execution in the team fights. They always tend to come back, or at least close the gap in games where they probably shouldn't. But this is one of the main reasons why they're actually in the top of the leaderboard, because they just play so solid in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, you end up with these... I mean, they're behind at the moment as well. You end up in these marginal situations, but cooler heads prevail. I still think your soul is mine. The warding game, letting them down a little bit there, like just not having better control or any kind of ward around the pit. It would have been tricky for them to come out and recapture this outpost, but like they just gave away too much control around the pit. And now they can potentially wait out the Aegis, and the Monkey King is still getting pretty big. You know, he's #1 on the net worth. But definitely a window here for Yes Chef to make some plays.
Yeah, this is a game where if it does go really late game, we may see some rapiers as well.
Oh, for sure. With the heroes that we've got, especially the Gyrocopter, like there's no doubt. Bottom lane's getting pressured in pretty far. So Yes Chef, looks like they're going to try and force top to force them back, but Conan's running down here. Masue is not interested currently. He's actually got the leveler sitting back at base as well.
They're going to commit here.
Yeah, they're going up.
They need to get to the back line. You can't run.
They do have the glyph. They're just trying to poke and prod at Riz a little bit, but not the target that you can really go for. Masue arrives back here. They have scouted him out, so there's now no threat at bottom at all. But
they're going to go for the outpost. It's going to be 40 minutes soon, so they want to take the high ground in the triangle, enemy triangle, get those bounty runes. Maybe someone will claim the outpost. So it's very smart moves here. There's not going to be much time for them to react as well, since it's only 20 seconds short, if they get to that outpost fast enough. But it doesn't seem like to be the case, as Your Soul's Mine is smoking uphill.
I mean, Riz just sitting on the front. Getting into the backlines, they found Tekor. He's not going to be able to do any damage here. Ravage on the 2, they've actually found Reverie. He's the next target. Masue gets the stun onto him. Can they get Reverie out of here? That's the question. They need some value from their Invoker. Riz popping everything, but Masue is just standing his ground with the Wukong's command. He's got the extra AoE. Riz desperately fighting with the Satanic. He's lifestealing nicely, but he gets disarmed up from the Heaven's Halberd, so he can't keep on going. He's dead. That's life #1. Monkey King trying to jump up onto the trees, but he gets tornadoed. The Invoker's still getting some value here as Lon looks like he is going to get chased down. Yule's up, that's not going to be quite enough. Actually, it is quite enough damage to kill him. Conan finding some more lockdown onto Riz. He's still healing up. Masue committing. That's Scotty doing some work. And Jiren also here. Riz finally left alone and focused down. Will be brought down, and Your Soul is Mine definitely winning that fight.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
I really like how they just completely ignored the Riz there, even though Riz was in the perfect position, and they straight away got Tekor. Like, I haven't really seen Tekor just get his Shadow Realm to very much effect, even though he's got an Aghanim, so...
Yeah, the jump from F-18 was huge, right? He ran up the hill, they saw the Gyrocopter as they jumped up onto the tree, and then I think it must have just been that little bit of vision, and oh, they actually have a ward here as well, which did not get dewarded. and just managed to jump straight on top of Tekor. Could have been a very different fight if Tekor was able to actually stand there and do some damage. Because I looked at the fight recap, and literally the only person that did any damage that fight was Riz. He had the 1v5, because the Invoker spent the whole fight just running around with heroes in his face as well. So they're gonna buy back, but I mean, it's just 2 lanes of racks getting cleaned up, and it's looking like your soul is mine. They're now resetting, just gonna play it careful. Gonna go back, maybe grab a couple more items. The Monkey King looking towards this Abyssal Blade now.
Yeah, there's a Shivers as well now completed on the Tide. No, not Shivers. Arcane Blink is completed.
All right, pretty nice. This is the late game Tidehunter that we're talking about. Yeah, dang, and he's getting closer to level 25 as well.
Yeah, there's been no progression in items for Reverie here. He's been stuck after that BKB, not really being able to even build halfway of his Aghanims here, which looks really ugly. The Arcane Blink, the Octarine on the Void Spirits, the MKB with 4,000 golden Marcy Way. Jiren has a Ghost Scepter to help him out. He's also got Telescope, which is great, with the lens as well as the cast range talent 15. So he's just gonna have an easy time to cast his spells now.
Yeah, this is... The Void Spirit is just doing so much more than the Invoker in the fights. And like, you think about the Void Spirit, he was picked way earlier in the draft. The Invoker is the last overall pick, but I think this really goes to show the strength of Void Spirit as a hero. It just has so much guaranteed value, you know, almost no matter what. And yeah, I mean, they just can't use the Invoker's damage this game. They can't get like a spear into a Sunstrike, Meteor, Deafening Blast, or sure, he's useful to buff up the Gyro, but in terms of like actually sitting there and doing his own damage, not a whole lot of contribution from Reverie, unfortunately.
Yeah, and even if he gets to his Aghanim timing, I don't think the Cataclysm will be game changer, because they don't really have the best setup to utilize it as well. And on top of that, even if they do get someone with the Mars Arena into Spear and their Cataclysm, they can get False Promise and just save.
Or Snowballed. Yeah, there's a lot of save.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're definitely in Rapier territory for Riz, and he's got it queued up at the moment. I think they just have to hope that, you know, Riz gets the Rapier, they put the Alacrity on him, and that he just destroys everybody with 1 round of Flak Cannon. It's kind of the only hope that they have at this point. Because even the between like the Halberd and the Mischance and the Scotty regen reduction, the Satanic is not making the Gyrocopter invulnerable.
Yeah.
By any means. So
all they need is Shivers now. Oh, actually, he's going for Refresher. Actually, Shivers would help as well in that regard, but Refresher does seem more game changer, especially considering you're going for the Arcane Blink as well. So
yeah, I can see it.
On top of that, there's only really 2 BKB. Actually, there's 3 BKBs coming from Yes Chef, but they're all pretty low now. 6 seconds on Riz. We've got a 6 seconds on the Mars as well. And the Invokers should be probably the longest one right now. Yep, at 8 seconds. So it's not looking too good. The game drags out. Tide, as he said, it's just it's the dream hero in the late game. It's the same thing with the Enigma as well. When you have Enigmas, you always have to watch out for those black holes or Refresher black holes. The Refresher shards as well coming up in the later stages because of the Roshan dying multiple times. So there's just a lot of factors this game which just inclines to believe that Your Soul is Mine should win this. The later it gets, and it's 24k gold lead right now, 25.
Yeah, the Tide has a little bit of that like Underlord anti-carry factor as well. Like every point of net worth on the Gyrocopter is doing less than every point of net worth on the Monkey King, because you've got this Anchor Smash damage reduction. And he went for Butterfly, right, as the damage item, which I think makes total sense against the Monkey King, but all of that, you know, a lot of that that base damage that he's getting is getting chopped down by the Anchor Smash.
Yeah.
Well, Conan's got a gem as well. They're taking control of the map. They've got a all right. They've got Tian in the Roshan pit. That's Jiren's career. And yeah, they're just kind of controlling the map. I would say just looking like they definitely do not want to throw this. I think everybody is farming buyback. They're telling themselves, look guys, let's just get next Roche, let's get Refresher on our Tide. Like, let's just win this one for sure. And that is giving Riz the opportunity to get this Hail Mary Rapier. So
yeah, I was thinking maybe they should be playing a little bit more aggressive, considering the fact that Riz did buy the Demon Edge quite some time ago, and you can kind of tell that he's going for the Rapier at that point. If you kill him, he might not have buyout, or if you kill him and he does buyout and the fight kind of turns, but it goes like 50-50, then he's never going to get to that Divine Rapier anymore either. So I mean, sure, yeah, you can play very passively, choke them out, farm a lot of the resources all over the map and wait for the rush. But even if you do get the Aegis, if the Gyrocopter gets to that Divine Rapier, anything can really happen, to be fair.
Yeah. Man, Riz went for the global call down here at level 25.
I guess he just... maybe he got it because he wants to get to that Rapier timing easier, since he can't...
Yeah, maybe. I guess maybe it gives you some scouting as well in like a crucial moment, but yeah, it is a little weird. Roshan is going to be up in 25 seconds. We are still just chilling. Riz, I guess you gotta send your courier to the Dire secret shop, right? Like, yeah, here we go. It's already on its way. I'm too slow. He's going all the way around. Crosses now. Can he get it? Looks like he can. Just got to make sure that you bring it back a safe way. Do not run it into the creep wave.
Well, Tien spotted the Roshan, so
all right, nice.
Being a very good boy here.
6th man in the roster, and okay, we got Rapier coming. Roshan was scouted by the Sunstrike, so they know that it's happening. Your Soul is Mine gonna opt to head out of the pit and just control this high ground area. As the Rapier does get delivered.
It's interesting because if you think about it, you got the Rapier, if you get them off guard when they're going for rush, then maybe it sounds good, but at the same time you don't have any single ward that will provide vision to give you an advantage if you do run into rush, so they've decided to not even contest it whatsoever.
Yeah, it looks like they're content to just hope for a miracle-based defense, I suppose. I think the thing that they're weighing up is that if they go out here, Your Soul is Mine can use their buybacks because they have the outposts, right? But yeah. if you're stuck, if they go and fight, there is no chance to use their buybacks in any useful capacity. So it's kind of a hard call, but I do sort of agree with them here because a lot of people are saving buyback at this point, and I think that's the one way that they can win is like, you know, 2 or 3 heroes with buyback throw bodies and they get like 1 kill on somebody on Your Soul is Mine, and then they buy back and they keep the fight going after that because they're just so far behind at this point, right? They're 33k in the hole.
The Aghanim's Shard being picked up by Jiren here, so not Aghanim's Shard, sorry.
The Blessing. Yeah.
So I mean, this one's a pretty interesting one. We don't really see this often. I mean, the old one was the machine gun on Purifying Flames, like a cooldown or something like that. I can't remember exactly how long the cooldown was, but now it's actually pretty decent.
This is actually so good against Tekla. Yeah. He can't do anything. Oh my god.
Place it on the Gyrocopter here, and they can still use spells to kill the Gyrocopter, which is pretty good.
Yeah, he just goes this one. Dang. Masawe just sieging this one out. Okay, it doesn't have the Fate Seed this time around. Gotta be a little careful. Everything going in. Ravage connecting. Can they bring down the Gyrocopter? That's going to be the big target. Can you get the Satanic off Riz? You have to just stand here and fight. What can you do? He's actually just dead. Rapier on the ground. And looks like that's just going to be it. The triple buybacks coming through, but they're missing their crucial ingredient. Where is the Gyrocopter? There was just too much damage. I think the Monkey King just slew him. And now they're going to try and fight, but they can't do anything. F-18's inside of their base, inside of their fountain. 3 dead, and Your Soul is Mine are going to be taking game number 1 here. A 51-minute slugfest. They dropped the ball a couple of times, but
yeah,
won it out in the end.
Very solid draft. Their early game impressed me though. Honestly, the first 15 minutes into this game is really not the Souls Mine we've seen before. Sure, they've had a few games where they play very well early game, and they grow the game even though they shouldn't, but this was one of those games where I felt that the Tuskers should have a pretty hard time to make any plays whatsoever. The MK as well shouldn't really have a real lane to play unless they help them out, which they didn't really. Anyways, they just forced the enemy team to react middle because they kept ganking Reveries Invoker, and then because they were reacting mid, MK gets more space, gets some 1v1 time against Lon's Mars, and he obviously gets his Battle Fury at a decent timing. There was a few things we didn't really agree with the itemization. He probably could have gone for that Aghanim's first run and scaled better, as well as just do more damage. But all in all, I mean, they played pretty well. A little over complacent at times, but their draft and their execution was quite decent this game, I must say.
Yeah. If you had to give an MVP for your Souls Mine?
Well, it's hard because like Jiren played really well. There was some real good plays by Conan as well, but I really think the Void Spirit really changed this game.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Tusk, but I'm looking at the scoreline here from F18, and he really did pop off. It's tricky. Maybe we'll have to give it to the chat and see what they thought. Anyway, guys, we are not done just yet. We still have a second game for this series, so we're going to throw it to a break, and we'll be back for game number 2 in about 5 minutes.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun. To dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. Until I broke the rules, my life.
Welcome back, folks, to our last game of the evening. It's Oceanic Esports Dota League Season 3, and we've got a little bit of an upset on our hands. Perhaps yet again, we got Your Soul Is Mine versus Yes Chef. Some solid drafting, some solid play from Your Soul Is Mine. It got a little shaky here and there at a few moments, but they kept it together, and they do walk away with that Game 1 win. And that means the Yes Chef streak, it was only 4 series, but their streak of 2-0s is going to be brought to an end. We'll just have to see if they can avoid their first 0-2 here.
Yeah, I mean, they look very strong, Your Soul Is Mine. They made the right moves in the early game. I think, like you said, the draft was good. We see a respect ban coming from Yes Chef. They ban out the MK in the first phase. Alchemist and Earthshaker being the same bans for Your Soul Is Mine. But Grimstroke opener, this is what I was mentioning in the first game. It's an actual hero that's very popular in OEDL. A lot of teams prioritize that. A lot of teams have a very high win rate on this hero as well. I believe Yes Chef has about like 75 or 80% win rates on this hero as an opener pick as well, which is pretty good. That being said, they have a good track record, so I guess most of their heroes would have a high win rate as well, right? But
yeah,
that being said, an opener hero, they can synergize with anything. They can go for the Ursa. With the Grimstroke, if they still want to go for a more greedy approach, which would be the Alchemist, which is banned, they can still go for it as well. So, I mean, it's very flexible here with a lot of synergies if you want to play around the soul binds. So nothing really unusual here as an opener for Yes Chef.
And Your Soul Is Mine took a while to decide on that Rubik pick, but they do grab it, and Yes Chef immediately to the Bango. So
it's not a hero that they tend to pick early as well. I'm not too sure how many games they've got with Pangolier as well. I'm assuming this is a flex pick, because I know Lon can somewhat play it, and I think Reverie has played it as well in the mid lane before.
But, yeah. Do you think Tekor would take it 4 if it came to that? Like, I think it's one of Lon's most played heroes.
Yeah.
It's his most played in pubs in the past month.
Yeah, they've got 2 games of Pangolier so far, but I'm not sure if they've opened up with the Pangolier in the first 2. But Bloodseeker being the immediate answer for the Pangolier. I mean, Rupture's being very good against Pangolier no matter where you put him. If you place Bloodseeker safe lane against Pangolier, it's generally a pretty good matchup as well. Also depends on the supports that's played from both sides, but just the general matchup is very advantageous for Bloodseeker already.
Yeah, I do wonder a little bit about... Because to me, the thing is that you can put the Pango 4, right? And he's going to get sad if he gets ruptured, but sure. But the Bloodseeker does not necessarily have the same level of flexibility. I guess the lowest you can go is you can push Bloodseeker down to 3, right?
Yeah.
And then you can still have your other heroes, but I'm not so sure. We'll see if this Bloodseeker ends up working out. Because if they want to deprioritize it because they think Pango is going to be a 4, I just don't know how good Rubik Bloodseeker is as a lane. Offlane Bloodseeker was a thing for a little bit, but he has received some changes.
Yeah, Blood Riot is being nerfed, I believe, in terms of damage output. Obviously, the Thirst as well.
Yeah, the healing has been nerfed a bit, which I think was a big part of like the offlane Bloodseeker, because you couldn't ever drive him out of lane. Really, maybe it would work. You've got the Rubik, so you're not really going to be taking too much auto attack damage with the Fade Bolt, but they could still easily pick some carry that just destroys you.
Yeah, I mean, Ursa being banned out here, pretty standard. Riz's Medusa being banned out, which is pretty good against Bloodseeker. You don't really care if you get ruptured, you're just this mobile.
Yeah, just stand there. Tell your team not to run away. Yeah.
And then, I mean, we got some respect bans coming from Yes Chef once again, but a little different. We see Morphling again, but Oracle and Tusker being the 2 bans right after that one. So, I mean, the thing about Jiren, he does play a lot of heroes. Oracle is not necessarily his best hero. He does play a fair few. I mean, I've seen him even spam a lot of Bane at one point. Not saying Bane is good, but it's not the fact that banning out Oracle is going to really hinder him. So
yeah. The Tusk ban to me is also a little weird, because like you've already got Rubik as your 4. I guess you can play Tusk as a 5, or you can play Rubik as a 5. I know Game is Hard is very fond of playing Rubik 5, but I just don't think it's very good.
Alright, we got the Void Spirit again. which not banned, not picked until the second phase. I'm a little surprised. I think it's picked at the exact same order, right? I think it was third pick in the last game as well. Was it in the first two?
Yeah, no, I think it was second phase as well. It's been making it pretty deep.
Yeah. Generally, it's banned or it's picked up real early, but I mean, it doesn't seem to be the case here. They still manage to give them, unless they have an actual answer, like a better solution against Void Spirit mid. It's more likely to be a Bloodseeker carry, right? I mean, sure, maybe they can run a 3, but I think it's very likely that Bloodseeker's carry, Void's going to be middle. That being said, though, Yasola's mind is generally pretty confident at playing these hard scaling lineups because Masiwe generally plays those type of heroes. And if he does play Bloodseeker, it might feel a little bit out of place. It's not going to be the exact same playstyle as the game, for example, just before. Yes, Chef, right now we'll probably start revealing where the Pangolier is going to be. Either that or they just pick a mid hero that's going to do well regardless, and it's going to be good against Void Spirit. With that being said, Void Spirit could be position 3 as well.
I mean, what even is the biggest counterpick to Void Spirit? I feel like there just isn't that. There isn't a hero that demolishes him in lane.
That is kind of okay.
Right.
But with the nerfs, maybe people are a little scared to pick it now just because it doesn't farm as fast and it doesn't push lanes as fast, but it's still generally pretty good. It is left open here as well, and it is a pretty good back game as well. If they wanted to go for the Grimstory combo with the Batrider Lasso, they could have. It gives them that initiation, which they kind of lack right now. And on top of that, so the matchups is decent. Against Bloodseeker, it's kind of iffy, but not really a bad Batrider game. But again, they went for the Ember Spirit, so I'm sure this is a matchup where Reverie is pretty confident on against the Void Spirit, if it does happen to be a Void Spirit mid, because it could still be a position 3. But, I mean, it just seems like they're going back to their roots.
Yeah, this is one of those matchups where it's just I think people who play Ember and Void Spirit have played both sides of this matchup a lot, and I've seen it just a lot of it comes down to rune control, and there's a pretty big skill factor involved. Item builds, not item builds, but skill builds as well. Play a bit of a factor if you have the flexibility to go for a different build, or if you're going to simulate max or whatever. It does kind of change things a little bit. As Lion coming in for your souls.
Well, Lion is becoming a bit more popular in the European region. Secret, OG, there's a lot of teams that are actually picking up on Lion position 5, which is quite nice. But, I mean, it is a pretty good Lion game to think about. Against Pangolier, if you have Bloodseeker and Lion in the lane against Pangolier +1, it's going to be very strong against it. You can do the blow right with the Impale from the Lion itself. You got control for the Ember later on. You got a lot of damage coming from Yasola's Mine. Obviously, their scaling is really dependent on how far or how good they do in the laning phase, because they can get their item times very quickly and they can snowball off it. But yeah, it's not really seen much in OEDL. Lion in general is a position 5 or position 4. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Jiren will make this work. If it is.
Yeah. He is a bit of a weird laner. Is what I would say. He just doesn't. You've got a lot of lockdown, but you don't really contribute much damage. Earth Spike is 80 damage at level 1, something like that. It does have a pretty low cooldown, but we'll just have to see how it works out. Good point, I think, about the Blood Right, for sure. And Yesha really taking their time here, deciding on what they want, and they are going to pull out the Riki, which looks pretty good. Unless they get that first disable on you, in which case you're screwed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it looks good if you're ahead and you got your item timings, but your Soul's Mind's going to play strong lanes, and that they're going to play for an early game emphasis. If you pick Riki here and the lane doesn't go too well, Ricky's not one of the better. It's not very good at recovering to begin with. Generally, you want to go for Orb of Corrosion and get ahead and get kills with the Grimstroke in the laning phase, and that transitions into your faster timings. But I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do something like that in this particular game. They don't know for sure if Bloodseeker is a carry or a 3. If Bloodseeker is +3 and they have a Rubik, that lane is pretty strong to begin with. They have a lot of control, like you said. If he gets caught by one of the spells, either Line or the Yules from the Void Spirit, or even Rupture or Lift, I mean, he will die. There's no defensive ability coming from Yes Chef either. So it really comes down to how his lane progresses and how much he can get out of it.
I do think the one thing that makes the rookie maybe look a little bit better here is that Your Soul is Mine do not really have any building damage to speak of just yet. So even if the lane goes like even, I think there's going to be plenty of space on the map for the rookie to, farm up, get Battle Fury, and like sort of be 2 or 3 slotted guaranteed this game. And I think that's where the like Lycan ban comes from as well, right? They're like, how do we lose this game? Well, the way that we lose this game is they pick some Necro 3 buyer and they just run at us, and we never get our item timings going. Both teams thinking about those. I think both teams are lacking in building damage, so they're both they're both looking at it and being like, oh no, like are they going to completely outbuilding damage us with one pick?
Yeah, both cores of Bloodseeker and Riki are carries. They're very dependent on the early game laning phase. So if you do verse Beastmaster and Lycans and they rush that book 6 minutes, let's say, and they bully out of the lane, then you're going to lose a lot of its effect. I mean, we saw Cloudy playing that Bloodseeker as well recently, and it didn't really look too good when it was playing from behind. Although I think he could have played it a little better for sure. But I mean, Enigma is a book hero to begin with here.
Yeah, I like the Enigma here. It gives them some options to play fast if they want to. It's even more lockdown. It's going to make the lane really annoying for Riz just getting constantly denied as well. It will end up being the Tech or Pango, as we were kind of anticipating.
Yeah.
No big surprises there. And I can see the idea with the Legion Commander, because I think Yes Chef are thinking along the same lines that, like, hey, Your Soul is Mine, they're not that fast, and they don't have that much scaling. So if we just pick, like, the Legion Commander is kind of a carry from the off lane, right? So yeah. I think their Tricore, up until the Enigma pick came out, looked really, really good, and it could still be really good in the late game. But this Enigma pick, to me, is looking really strong. So
yeah, I mean, there's no real way of canceling it. I mean, Abyssal's late game, maybe Lon, if you were to go something cheeky, get Edelens and you can duel. But it's very rare people do that.
Yeah.
But with that being said, getting an early book, managing the lane by just denying the range creep, it's always going to drag back. Riz is not going to find any kill potential in that scenario, especially if Pangolier is around and you can disarm him as well, level 2. Obviously, Pango is just going to disrupt the pulling while the Enigma's playing the lane. He's going to get solo XP and getting his level 3. And it just doesn't seem like you can really punish the Enigma that early. Maybe later on, when maybe Riz is level 3 and they go for the Inkswell Blink Strike, maybe they can go for a kill on Enigma. But it's not going to be that easy, because obviously you're going to lose levels by getting that range creep denied constantly, right?
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's some slight potential for Tekor to also rotate, and they can get like a Swashbuckle in with the Inkswell. That should be kills, but it's definitely tricky. I think the hardest thing this game for the Enigma is actually going to be just deciding what your item build it's going to be, because I think there's a temptation to, like, okay, well, Necro 1 sounds good, but do you get Necro 3? Do you get a mech? Like, what is my team's timing? How fast are we playing? Because you can be a little greedy, but I think also you definitely need to get a Blink BKB at some point to win this game. So
30 seconds
it's going to be interesting to see what Hagwa does. Man, they are running at him here on the side of Yes Chef. Really hoping to scout out this first blood. They're sneaking right on through this little patch of fog.
Riz? I don't think he did. There's no pings coming from both sides.
Riz, you gotta be careful. There's nobody to blink strike to. He's trying to rejoin his team, but he's gonna get stunned up. Here comes the silence. And, well, Malefice level 1 from the Enigma. They better get this kill. Riz, okay, they get it. And the Enigma does get the first blood. But I think this is still pretty questionable. Big stun from Jiren catches both of them. Tekor getting right-clicked. Doesn't have the swashbuckle. He's looking dead. That's a kill for Masue. And Your Soul is Mine. Well, I think the Malefice is still weird, but they are starting this game off right. with a 3-for-0. Still chasing after Meteor as well. They've got double boots on the supports. They can actually still chase this one. Yeah, Meteor is in some trouble. He's going to have to tango his way through and keep on running, but there's another Fade Bolt, and like I said, the Earth Spike's pretty low cooldown. They're still kind of diving for it. Alright, finally the madness will end. And
I'm a little worried now. I mean, sure, you guys got that, you got 3 kills and it sounds really good, but now Enigma, he actually started with boots of speed, level 1, and he doesn't have Eidolons, so he can't deny the creeps back. As soon as Riz gets level 2, or even Meteor gets level 2, I think they definitely can make a play on this lane. It doesn't matter if you have boots of speed, if they can just get on top with the blink and the tricks of trade as well, so I'm not really approving his build-up here, and I definitely don't think he should have gotten Alpha. Even if it didn't get that kill, I don't think it's worth it. He could have got someone else killed regardless.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one. So far mid, Reverie is doing really well against the Void Spirit. A little bit ahead on the CS, nothing too crazy. Okay, finally we get the Eidolons at bottom, so let the denies begin. Up top, some action. Masue getting run at. Jiren doing his best with the stun, almost catches both of them. Will be able to keep Masue alive, but I mean, no salve on the support here. Okay, there's one getting delivered.
Yep.
Gotta be careful that it doesn't get cancelled by the overwhelming odds. Okay, he's running all the way back.
Jiren, a little bit out of position there.
Yeah, Tekro giving him the slaps. Alright. Tekro is out of mana, does have a mango coming in, a little bit of pressure. Everyone is so low on top. Masue just desperately trying to heal up with the last hits.
Yeah, he needs to stabilize this lane. If he can get some last hits, get maybe to 70% health, obviously the pressure won't really be... it's more so about like him dying by a burst, not necessarily him getting poked out. Because if he gets poked out, he can just lifesteal back, right? But if he's too low, then he may die if Tekor gets a good swashbuckle there and followed up by Lon. And yeah, it's not an Oz game if careers don't die.
I am shocked at how well Reverie is doing mid. 18-1 against, I mean, maybe 12 here for F18, but he just went for the really early Blades of Attack, and the Sleight of Fist spam is actually really adding up. Bottle is coming out now, so that's going to be a big help, and we'll just have to see how that 4-minute rune battle goes.
This Blades of Attack opener is pretty good, actually. It's so easy to secure the range creep as well, or the range deny.
Yeah, it's working out nicely for Reverie. Conan getting gone on here, might be dead. Meteor can land this Ink Swell, yeah. Looking like he's going to be brought down. Meteor grabs that kill. Enigma trying to help out, but not a whole lot that he can do. And across all 3 lanes, things looking very good for Yes Chef. Which is definitely worrying if you are Your Soul is Mine. Because they don't even have a huge amount of playmaking potential, and now trouble for Jiren up top. And they do get the blood right onto both of them, but Bloodseeker just not a particularly strong laner, and Tekro and Lon able to put on a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good for Yes Chef. It's mostly because the Enigma didn't have Eidolons level 1, and as you can see, his CS is 6-6 at 4 minutes. It's pushed out of the lane. Ricky's got 19-7 currently.
Action for this rune. F18's gonna get it. He does have a Fairy Fire to simulate to try and get out of here. It actually stays in place to keep on fighting. Gets the shield up. Can he get this last sip and then salve? No, he can't. Reverie just gonna keep on punching. And you're getting slowed down. This is actually trouble. Side of Fist coming off cooldown in a second. Inkswell going up. Can he use the slight to get either of these kills? Not quite. Alright, well, they lose the Void Spirit. Very sad. That's every support rotating mid for that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a level behind the Ember Spirit, and there was 3 heroes committed in total in mid lane by Soul is Mine. And it's not looking good. It's not like you can really leave the Enigma at this point in time at bottom lane. It's very difficult to be able to survive if he gets jumped upon by the combo that they have, the Ricky Mara.
Oh, Masue wants this kill. He's going to get it on Lon, just manning up a little bit too far. Jiren was also running in, but not going to end up happening. Reverie putting on a lot of pressure at mid. This is a level 6 Ember versus the level 4 Void Spirit. He's going to crack level 5 soon, but just getting super pressured. And actually missing out on some experience from these creeps. Okay, he gets back in position now. Conan is trying to help out, but Lift is on cooldown for now. Jiren also running over, but I believe he's being scouted by this Obs, which is just about to time out.
He cancelled the TP, so he can't fire in the back end. He's gonna have to
okay, that's pretty nice.
Staying back to base.
Well, I mean, he still will be able to remnant out, but this is at least a little bit of a window for FA2 to do something. But Riz seems to be farming plenty of Eidolons down here at bottom. He's got 35 CS. And Meteor has gone for 2 points up in the Stroke of Fate, which is also helping to clean up the Eidolons pretty easily. Yeah, tricky situation for our Enigma player.
I'm not too sure if I'm in this position as Enigma. I might just decide to deny range trip and go jungle, because there's just no play in the lane. If you show face, you're gonna die, you're just gonna get dove. At the same time, you're not being efficient anyways. If you stay in the lane, you only have 16 CS at 6 minutes, which is very low. So you're better off just trying to be greedy and give the Riki the farm that he's getting anyways. He's getting free farm currently. So just trying to improve your own farm and just ditch the idea that you can pressure the Riki Mara anymore.
Lon is going for a very lane-centric build here, buying lots of small items and kind of maxing out the press to attack. He's going to get ruptured, but just choose to stand his ground and fight, try and heal this one out. Jiren's pretty low. Tekro going after him, doesn't have the swashbuckle for another 10 seconds. And Tekro actually going to snag the courier, but might pay for that one with his life. Meteor with the snipe, in fact, and a little bit of a dive coming in from Lon. The lift back from Conan will be forced out. I don't know if they would have gotten that kill. Anyway, the duel is now skilled up for Lon, and seeing all the action top, Void Spirit being drawn over, his counterpart Reverie on this Ember Spirit is hunting inside of the tree lines. He's got the maxed out Slight, does not have a point in change just yet, so just kind of standing his ground and fighting this one for now. Throws down the Remnant to dodge, and we'll keep on pursuing. Also is kind of low, but not dead just yet. Jiren with the lockdown does also have an Earth Spike to follow it up, but Reverie's just not taking any damage here. They really cannot pressure. Lon running forward, it's going to have a heal in a second, and he's got some wand charges, should be okay for the time being. Might even be able to get a duel off here. He's looking for the opportunity, doesn't really want the Void Spirit. The slight spam continues, and it's just cleaning up the supports. Reverie with the double kill. And the gap between the two mid laners is just going to continue to grow and grow this game.
Yeah, I mean, this Ember is doing a lot of work. He had a really good start. I mean, we were talking about the matchup. It's one of those matchups that they understand, both players should understand very well how it should be played and how it should go. But Reverie got way too much out of the lane. He really destroyed mid lane, and now with the level advantage, the item advantage, he's just, it shows. It's really displaying on these fights that with the max of Sleight of Fist, he can just eat these supports so easily in mid lane though.
Okay, they've got lift. Meteor's dead. He's going to try and fight this one out, do a little bit of damage before he goes down, but Matsue happy to grab that kill. He is doing alright on the Bloodseeker, but the fact that the Ember is having such a good game is very worrying, and the Void Spirit really struggling. He's even just sitting soaking experience at top because they're now giving mid lane over to the Bloodseeker for a little bit. So. Kind of a tricky spot to be in. They do have the Necrobook coming out to the Enigma, but not that fast, really, and not even ahead of the Legion Commander on net worth here.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games where Moscow is gonna have to play from behind Bloodseeker, which doesn't feel good. Cloud experienced that before, and it's gonna be a very similar situation here.
Man, this constant slight spam from Reverie is just destroying your soul is mine. Cannot deal with the harassment. It's getting sent packing. F18 having to walk all the way back to the wall.
Tinker support and just maxing rockets and spamming rockets. It's a nuisance. He's not really farming much, but he is preventing heroes from farming as well. And that is benefiting them more than your soul is mine, just because Rick is having a free game currently.
Yeah.
Almost got his Battle Fury here. So
yeah, I think it's totally fine for Reverie to play like a very space creation heavy game, and just let the Legion and the Riki farm. Like, if you have a huge Legion and Riki, you're very happy. And we got a first duel here for Lon. Nice quick win. Jiren getting brought down, and Matsue also just getting run at. Aguao has no choice but to just sit here and pressure bottom, but they can just park Lon, and he can kind of easily deal with this. He's even going to clean up a little bit of Eidolon farm here. trouble for Conan as Tekor finds him, Riz cleaning up that kill, and things are just going from bad to worse. Your Solo's Mind going to try and bring some numbers towards bottom to find something, but...
It's trying to rupture, but it's too far. And now they've wasted 3 heroes' time to try and react for Rubik death.
I do wish that there was a core top for Yes Chef right now. I don't know if Meteor being the one that's up here farming is necessarily ideal for them, but they're still winning for sure. It's just, this is one of these weird situations as Pause 5, you're like, oh, no one else wants this farm? Okay, sure. Show me your CSing skills, Meteor, come on. Please, sir. Alright, that's one.
Okay, now Lon's getting the safe lane farm. I'm not sure if he should be here though in the first place. Yeah, here we go. So Riz is actually TPing top. It's going to take the lane that you'd like a core to take. Lon's going to safely farm in the safe lane, just get his Blink Dagger. Tekor now also has level 6. I mean, you can see some maybe smoke plays coming soon from Yes Chef. Rotating middle would probably be the ideal situation here, since the bottom tower is not that important. You get that mid tower, it enables you to actually smoke deep into the enemy primary as well as the triangle, jungle. So
double jump forward onto Jiren. Is there enough damage? Yes, there is. Meteor sniping him with the Stroke of Fate, and that is, man, this is going to be a fast Battle Fury on this Ricky. I mean, didn't even need to go boots. He was just A-okay. Well, the Enigma did not necessarily end up working out for the whole offlane situation.
Yeah, it's extremely slow timings on his items, but it's also the fact that he's been getting helped a bit, and there's still a, what, 80-90% tower still health. I mean, just this tower won't die with Lon here as well, so this book build is not going to help either.
Yeah, it's not going to help them push the pace. I think there is, well, normally I would be talking about the fact that, you know, it's Enigma, like, late game against not a whole lot of cancel. Like, maybe there's still a chance that this is a game that Enigma can just 1v5, but I don't know if that's so easy to do with a Bloodseeker as your one.
Yeah. And also, it's very slow right now. It's not like they can get towers to open up the map and then distribute the farm between the 3 cores, who are all struggling currently, respectively to the enemy cores. At the same time, this book's not going to allow you to be able to win fights, and you're going to lose towers, which means you're going to have less resources to play with. Jiren's very starved in terms of levels. It's 13 minutes into the game. He's only level 4, almost level 5. Nasty is TPing top, should be fine.
Well, a little bit of pressure on Sir Every, but he's just kind of pushing this by himself. There's some backup in the area from Tekor, but he just doesn't really have anywhere better to be currently. They're getting farm out of all 3 lanes. This line is only going to keep on going up, and I think they're very happy with the situation that they're in, because if they get 2-3 items on their Ricky, I think he's just going to clean house. I don't really know what they can do. For Jiren, it's to level 4. I mean, he's getting level 5 soon.
It's really because the Rubik got the Tome of XP. I don't think he should have, because Rubik was actually not doing that badly. And Jiren really...
Riz reveals himself going for the courier. There's going to be a dust. Alright, here's a Hex. Where is the damage? Or where's the black hole? Looks like they do have enough, actually, with F-18 just popping everything. Okay. That's nice. Slow down the Ricky. That feels good.
Mid lane is just taken free because you went for that play. And now they're gonna probably invade your jungle very shortly. So it's gonna get harder for Masterway to actually farm for his items as well. Oh, this is looking real bad. I'm just thinking, like, from your Soul's Mind's perspective, obviously, ideally they make some smoke plays like that one there, but they transition it into something. Either it be a tier 1 tower or some map control, but they got the kill on their jungle, but they're still not in control of that jungle. I mean, you see Reverie here actually just stealing the stacks, the hard work stacks from Jiren. And he's almost got, well, what is he going for? Is he going for a Deso now? No, he's going for the
I think he's just going Maelstrom, yeah. I think they're happy to play a somewhat farmy game. And yeah, like you're saying, they're holding all 3 lanes on the dire side of the map currently, so there's just no plays to really be made. Any action that's happening is deep on the dire side, and no real opportunity to push. Conan is going to get the lift to interrupt the Pango TP, and they do actually end up losing Lon at bottom, but there will be retribution
But at least they'll get this tower here. It doesn't seem like they have the tools to actually TP bottom and fight. Reverie actually going to go down there and try and delay push, but I think they shouldn't be so scared, just due to the fact that they know the enemy is all the way at top, and they've also used TPs before. Conan actually cancelled one of them as well, so they're giving a little bit too much respect, and because of that, they're not going to be able to take that tower.
Yeah, looks like Tekor might not be brought down here, actually. Gets the Rolling Thunder off and gonna go through the mid-wave on his way out. Not the ideal way to use that cooldown necessarily, but nice to not die and feed away some gold.
So I guess he's not going to be too unhappy about it. He did evade it.
Oh, Enigma in trouble. Riz just going to come in with the damage. Lon wants the duel, but they're not going to give it to him. And that is all 3 cores just going for a kill up top. Net worth lead just continues to grow and grow. Yes, Chef getting further and further ahead, and I don't know, Solo's Mind just don't really have that many plays currently. F15 feeling like he has to push out mid. It's one Astral Step used. Lon's looking for him, just going to go for the straight up duel. Do they have the follow-up damage? That's going to be the big question. Jiren looking to come in and save. Does get a 2-man stun out. There is an Astral Step. Can he get out of this one? Dissimulate first Astral Step now. He's got the regen rune. Maybe they can reset this into something, but Tekor still finds him, cancels the regen. Though they actually end up losing Riz on the other side of this fight. Decent damage coming through from Reverie, and they will get the counter kill onto Masawe. Conan trying to nuke down Lon, but he's also just going to be added to the pile. F15 thinking about the go-in here. Wants Tekor. Raindrop maybe saving him. Oh, 5 HP! Okay, he's out of there. What a value item Raindrop is.
7k net worth lead, but that fight was a little closer than I think it should be. Reverie obviously just dishing out too much damage there. There's no real solution of killing him instantly unless he gets caught and no one else is around. Lon actually gets the duel.
Yeah, looking like it should be a kill. They've got some decent lockdown, but Sleight of Fist finishes it. Looks like Lon is going to pay the price for this one, and he gets some stacks. Jiren gets some stacks. Everyone's happy.
Riz is actually coming to these fights, I think, too.
I think he needs to chill out, yeah.
He's got his Battle Fury and he just wants to be involved because his team is actually very active, but at the same time, because they're active, you should be able to utilize that space to actually farm for your next items. As soon as you get Ags, I think that's the timing where you can actually be involved as well, but he's died once, I think, in that fight, or twice actually in a row, but he could have actually been already maybe halfway to his Aghanim's at this point in time.
Yeah, I get it. You know, his team is strong. They're definitely winning, so it feels like they should just be able to take a 5-on-5. And you know, Black Hole was still on cooldown for a little while as well. But yeah, you do have to still be a little bit careful. You are definitely the insurance policy for your team. You know, Lon's not being greedy with the item build either. He has just gone for the fast blink, so a little bit less late game from the Legion, or a little bit less greed. I think that does mean that Ricky needs to be farming just that little bit more. They do have the Black Hole back up now, and Enigma is getting kind of close to his Blink Daggers, so maybe your Soul's Mind looking for some kind of a play. Conan's got this stolen duel. I don't know how he's really going to be able to utilize it, but keep your eyes peeled for that in the upcoming fights.
Yeah, I mean, they still at least have somewhere to farm. And they set up bottom here. If Reverie gets caught, he's actually just dead. Hex coming in.
Yeah, there's Hex. Silence coming. Stun. Draining it. Here comes the duel victory for Rubik. 10 victory damage for Conan. There you go. Alright. I doubted. I wasn't sure what it was going to do, but there you go.
I mean, they got some map control now. They got the primary jungle from the enemy. They've got it warded and sentryed as well, just in case. Sure, they're still behind by quite a margin, but they're slowly getting something out of it, at the very least. Tower also being taken down here. 20 seconds here to abuse the fact that Ember cannot contribute at all, so maybe they can actually get something else done. And it looks like they are looking for something in the middle.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But Reverie's coming up soon, so it's a very scary thought.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Can you hit escape, Musica, so that it unselects the Rubik?
Sorry?
No, I'm just talking to I'm talking to Musica because he clicked on the Rubik to ping that he had dual damage, but that means now on the stream the only thing that they could have selected is the Rubik. Anyway, it's fixed now. Well, so Riz has just been farming up here. You know, there's a ton of space on the map for him. He's got 2 great wards. They've taken the tier 2. So the entire Dire jungle, plus top wave, plus the triangle if he's feeling pressured, is all available for him to farm. But yes, Chef's still trying to make some plays on the map. They do have this Blink Dagger up on Tekor.
Yeah, they have 2 Blink initiations now, as well as Ember and Ricky, who can be very mobile. But at the same time, the Enigma also has a Blink Dagger. They've
got pretty good vision. They want Reverie, but maybe they're going to settle for a different target. Not going to go for Meteor. They jump in. Lon is there, so they realize that maybe there was a little bit more there than they bargained for. I'm just going to back out.
Alright, well, they almost have Aghanims as well on the Void Spear, which would be a pretty big item. There's no BKBs coming online, and it doesn't seem like anyone wants to actually buy a BKB in this game. Ember is going for a Lincoln Spear, and then you got, obviously Ricky is going for the Aghanims, but he's got the queued up BKB right after the Aghanims here. So the Aghanims could do a lot of work for the Void Spirit as soon as he hits that timing and they group up and take a fight.
Quick smoke here. And they are looking for Conan. Can he get the swashbuckle off is going to be the big question. Makes it down onto the low ground, but still getting stunned up, and it will still be brought down. If they could find Riz, would be a nice counter kill, but he is going to be a very difficult hero to grab. And TP coming in. There is a potential blink away from Enigma. No, actually just sticks around.
Sphere is online now as well.
Dead. All right. 3 cores converge on him, and they're going to get the Rolling Thunder through onto Jiren. He whiffs the stun. He will be brought down as soon as this Hex ends. Trying to juke around the tree line, buys his team a couple of seconds, as Masawe just going to scoot on out of there, and that outpost is going to get captured right back, I imagine.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's looking rough now. I mean, they don't have the bottom side watered anymore, so they can't just really enter enemy jungle there without thinking that maybe the enemy has a ward there and they can kill us here. So they're just going to be stuck to the triangle. But look at Reverie. With the Lincolns, the Essence Ring, 12 1 charges, 1.8k health, it just walks into the triangle alone, doesn't care, and there's just no real answer here.
Yeah, he can really just play however he wants. It's very frustrating. I like this this Radiant ward as well. Very difficult to kind of de-ward this one since you're mostly focusing around the high ground spots. So it gives you some nice information.
We do have BKB completed on Masterway now. The Aghanims for Void Spirit is 400 gold. As soon as he gets that Aghs, I think that's the key to really try and get the game back to your favor, or at least win a fight so you get some control of the game. Maybe you play for the Roshan afterwards, even though you don't really have the best rush heroes. But at least you can get something done as soon as the Aghanims is online.
Yeah, I don't think they can afford to sit around for the Enigma BKB. It's probably just a little bit too far away. Oh, they do get a slight chains onto the Void Spirit. He's got the heals. Doesn't pop it. In comes the Black Hole controlling too. But can they actually keep F-18 alive? That's the problem here. Black Hole just not doing any damage whatsoever. Tekor cleaning up Jiren on the way out. And just 3 quick kills. Yes, Chef. Easy fight win. And now with Black Hole on cooldown, I don't know what you're going to be able to do as your soul is mine. I guess just farm for a few minutes.
He's going to delay their timings now. He was so close. Now he's going to be dead for a couple of seconds. He's going to have to try and find some place to farm that 400 gold remaining. Sure, Masawe has been doing a good job here splitting up, but I don't think they care anyways. They can always get the Ember to TP, which is about to happen. Yes, TPing bottom, leaving a Remnant middle. He's going to just connect to his teammates later, and there's just no ability to actually take any objective coming from your Soul's Mind side if they keep choking them out like this. And mid lane Masawe actually showing face.
Jump in. duel. Maybe a little bit of trouble for Lon, but they're still actually going to get the kill. He's quite tanky. Finger Death comes out. Tekor low, but not dead just yet. Masawe going to pop that BKB and go running after him. It throws out the Rupture, but they're just standing their ground. Riz dropping pretty low. Void Spirit going to self-heals. Masawe hasn't gotten the kill yet. Riz actually surviving. Triple kill as he jumps inside his ally to hide from the fight. And that is a 5-for-1. Yes, Chef heading straight up onto the high ground. It has been such a clinic this game with, I mean, a couple of random deaths here and there, but the map control and the pressure has been ridiculous from Yes, Chef. Like,
yeah, they haven't really left any openings as well this game. Maybe in the previous game there was a few chances where they capitalized on Your Soul's Mind's mistake, but this is reverse, and I don't really see any chances that Yes Chef has given that they can actually come back to the game. It's just going to get worse and worse. They're going to start building these items that makes your heroes hard to kill, and it allows them to actually be more aggressive with these type of items. Lincoln Sphere already had been built. Aghanim's, I believe, is being completed very soon by the Ember Spirit. Yep, he's very close to it. 500 gold. And then you also have another Lincoln Sphere being built up by Riz. So it's going to be very less likely where you can just start the fight with one Hex and get a pick off, especially considering you have Lon who can also debuff.
yeah, it's not going to be easy. Your Soul's Mind are going for kind of an immediate smoke out. I think realizing the desperation of their situation, they are going to just run out on the map, hope that they can find a random pick-off. They're not even that good at Roshan, but I think they also are thinking to themselves, like maybe they're in Rosh. They walk in there, they check it out. They know that they can't just let this continue on the way that it has been, because that's how they got into this position with just such a big net worth lead in Yes Chef's favor. And seems like Yes Chef know exactly what's going on. They're just hiding in the trees. They kind of suspect that a smoke is happening, and they are not going to give them a way back in.
Well, I guess the only hope is a big black hole, and everyone else following up to the black hole, because otherwise I don't really see a chance here.
Yeah, I don't know what you do. It does feel like you have to like black hole 4 heroes to get anything done in this spot, because your team, you need to drop like every spell on top of the black hole. You need to get both Resonant Pulses out, you need to hit a Blood Riot. Maybe you need to Blood Rage the Enigma during the black hole so that you just get more spell damage. Like,
yeah,
I just don't know.
And now there's the BKB on Lon as well, so
yeah, good luck. He's gonna be very difficult to kill.
he's going in.
Popping up. BKB pop. Tekor, where you headed, buddy? Alright, comes back around.
Yeah.
They even get the Dagon Zap from the Grimstroke. Meteor's feeling himself a little bit here. Conan did not get the steal that he was looking for there. His shield crashed pretty ineffectively. Reverie, nothing to fear whatsoever. Jumps forward with the Aghanim Scepter right on top of the Enigma. Pops the Desperation Black Hole the last second. Buyback from Masawe. This is the last fight here for Your Soul's Mind. They do manage to focus down Riz, and actually trouble for Lon as he gets right-clicked down. Bloodseeker going supersonic, and at this point, Yes Chef will just have to back up, show a little bit of respect to these buybacks, and Your Soul is Mine. I mean, you probably can't even Rosh. Hey, I guess you just get some farm on the map, unfortunately.
Doesn't seem too easy. I mean, sure, you've got like 2 key kills, but Reverie can just be a nuisance here still.
I mean, you're locking him down, Jiren, but what's the plan after that? Here we go! That was a nice slight, but yeah. Even though they lost 2 cores there, they're still 23k ahead. Yeah, it hasn't made a dent in the win probability. It's 99% at this point.
Alright, so we got, I think, another Lincoln's on the way by Tekor now as well. I mean, he's got the Perseverance, but I don't see a quick buy.
I mean, maybe he just gets a Lotus.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Also, I noticed this last game as well. Tekor just doesn't use quick buy.
Really?
Like, he didn't use it when he was buying Ags in the previous game. He eventually put the Blade of Alacrity on the quick buy, but before that he was just buying each component without sticking them on quick buy at all. So I don't know.
He's going in.
Yeah.
Driving through.
He's rolling. Beep beep. Alright, did they actually have the lockdown key? There is a Yules, but he doesn't have any Astral Step charges left, actually. Does have a Dissimulate. Gonna run for it. Oh no, the leash! The duel! Lon's looking for it. Can they actually keep their Bloodseeker alive? He's relatively tanky. Buyback from the Void Spirit. Still got a game on our hands, folks. Somehow.
Was his Blade Mail in that duel there. Maybe high tempo from actually killing him.
Oh, did he get the... Oh, he didn't get the BKB off, actually. So, well, there you go. Meteor is going for E-Blade. I guess they just go Roche. Does Ricky have items? Ricky has just gone for a BKB. So
yeah,
we're respecting that lockdown a little bit.
Well, it's closing into the 30k net worth lead here for Yes Chef. But I mean, going high ground, I guess they have to still be a little worried about the black hole. He's almost got his BKB. They actually should give him all these camps here so that he can at least purchase it before perhaps the last fight of the game.
Yeah. He definitely needs
hair though. He's just so wanting to
yeah, he's just hitting. I mean, I don't think he's gonna. His buyback is on cooldown, and he's not gonna get an item shortly. So yeah, I definitely wish he'd given that to the Enigma. But anyway, it happens. Enigma's creeps are just getting cleaned up by Riz. And bottom, I mean, they are pressuring and kind of loosely baiting behind the Void Spirit, but they're about to get forced back by pressure inside of their base. So here come the TPs and Reverie and Riz. It's not the fastest tower push in the world, but good enough. Reverie's Lincoln's does get popped. He's got the Glipnir as well. Throwing that one out. And Tekor thinking about Rolling Thunder. Enigma is like, please, I need the black hole of the century.
Yep. So we got double Lincolns now. Tekor actually got one instead of the Lotus, and they want to go in. Here we go!
Oh, big Inkswell jumping through Jir, just dead immediately, looking for the second support. Double kill for Riz. In a bit of a weird spot now, getting dragged towards the fountain. Is going to get healed up. Couple more auto attacks from Masue. That brings down life number 1. Enigma still 6 seconds to go on the black hole. Tekor doesn't want to use the Rolling Thunder. They get the jump in on top of Enigma, and they will focus him down immediately. Will not get the black hole opportunity here. Now they're trapped inside of the smoke screen. Lockdown, ultra kill for Riz. And the GG is called. The not quite fully squeaky clean streak continues for Yes Chef as they take their third 1-1 here in OEDL Season 3.
Yeah, definitely a dominant performance in this game. I don't really like when someone's mind goes out of their comfort. I mean, this just doesn't dream out comfortable heroes for Masiway. I mean, I know how Hagua has played Enigma offlane before, but I mean, he kind of debated himself a little bit by skilling out the Malphus there. And then he just doesn't have a lane anymore. I definitely think this game could have been played a lot better if perhaps the mid lane did a lot better in the matchup. The Void Spirit was just severely hindered by the Ember Spirit. Now, I'm not too sure if it's because the Ember obtained the Blades of Attack as a first item. I'm not too sure why the lane went so poorly, because I was more looking on the silence since there was a lot of action going on there. But Reverie really set the pace of the game this game, just becoming a nuisance, controlling enemy jungle, stealing their stacks, spamming the Fighter Fist to just push them out of the jungle, and then creating a lot of space for Riz to farm. Although I feel like Riz could have been a little bit more greedy this game, but nonetheless, I mean, they just hit their strides and they just abused it pretty much.
Yeah, at 10 minutes, the Ember had 4.4k net worth and the Void Spirit had 2.9k. It was just like... it's a very nasty gold graph to be looking at. And I think they really baited themselves by picking that Bloodseeker first phase against the Pango.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe if the Bloodseeker was a little bit more flexible, maybe if they ran it at position 3 and picked a different carry for Masue, maybe we could have had a different game. But so with that being said, I think a lot of it came down to the mid lane really just controlling the game, essentially.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they took all those initial towers, and then the rest of the game was just played on the dire side of the map, right? They got over onto the Radiant side like once to take the tier 1 and get a little bit of farm from there, but otherwise, I'm sure if you looked at a heat map, it was just all dire all the time. Anyway, that wraps it up for this evening. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Thank you for joining me, Godot. Hope you had a good time.
Yeah, I did.
All right, awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a nice evening, and we'll catch you back here for some more OEDL action some other time.